and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday. And you know what that means? It's time for weekly purchases. That time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, that old outlaw, that cagey outlaw, Waylon Jennings. It is the weekly purchases. And of course, a big week of pickups this week. 3 different rounds of weekly purchases, I do think, is what we will have. So stay tuned for that in the back half. Of course, my wife, the birthday girl herself, coming in for question of the week here shortly. But we got a little bit of housekeeping to do, of course, at the beginning, as we do every week of weekly purchases. And of course, weekly purchases this week brought to us by Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. I got a bunch of stuff back half of this video to check out that I got at Jay's. Got to get a deal. I use them every single week at this point because 15% is a lot of savings. So make sure you're checking them out if you have not already. Tell them Kyle sent you, that's for sure. So thanks to Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Check out the Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. You do get early access to everything we do. Even the podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, every single Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube, usually Thursday or Fridays. Before Tuesday, you will get early access to that episode. A lot of fun stuff. Once again, we're going to celebrate the birthday girl this Tuesday. As Tuesday, June 10th, is officially her birthday. So shout out to my wife, Angie, of course, holding it all down, celebrating her birthday as well. But a lot of fun on The Kyle Peterson Show. Check it out if you have not already. Give it a 5-star review and tell a friend. Tell a friend. How about that? We're going to talk a little Pee Wee Herman this week. We're going to talk a little alligator this week. We're going to talk about our first ever jobs. We're going to talk about Angie's birthday and a whole lot more. So a lot going on the podcast, a lot going on Patreon, a lot going on YouTube channel memberships. Of course, my new book, I guess a couple months old right now, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers. I have a couple of copies left. If you want to get one autographed, we can do that for you. Hit me up in the usual places. But a little follow-up from last week, of course, housekeeping portion of weekly purchases here. Last weekend was Des Moines Con. I was there. I was part of the action figure panel. Check out my story yesterday. My story? Kind of my story, I guess. It's the week story. It is the figure hunt. I did put a little bit of the sights and the sounds and a little bit of that panel in that toy hunt video that I dropped on Friday. Check it out. Of course, you can also go to good friend of the channel, Dave Wheeler's, his YouTube channel, and he has the whole panel up there if you want to watch the whole thing. So it is up there. Very cool to go to that panel. Talk a little bit more about that, of course. And my wife's first ever impression of ever going to a Comic-Con for the first time in her life. You can get some of that feedback in the podcast as well, as we do deeper dives over there into some of the news, some of the topics, and that's what we deeper dived into this week over there on the podcast. But a lot of fun in Des Moines Con, and there's a Galaxy Con at the end of the year. And good friend of the channel, Dr. Z, Dr. Zayas himself, Dana Gould, of course, but Dr. Z to me, he is going to be there. He's also going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, so really looking forward to hooking up with old friend of the channel, Dr. Z, 2 times this year. Going to be really cool to see that as well. So very excited to see Dr. Zayas himself. You know I love the Planet of the Apes, but a lot of fun around that. But besides that, a lot of unboxings on the channel this week. You know how we do it. There's unboxings every single day. Make sure you check back, scroll through. Always a good idea because I get so many people that say, Kyle, when are you going to unbox this? Well, I did it 4 days ago. I did it 3 days ago. I did it a week ago. So if you missed any unboxings, always good to scroll through the video list. They put them in order of release date and stuff like that. Or check out the Patreon, as I always do say as well. So a lot going on, but even more going on is it's time to bring my wife in, the birthday girl herself, for the question of the week. All right, time for question of the week. My wife, Angie, is here. Angie, say hello.
Oh, hello.
And Angie looking only like she can look here today. I'm very impressed at this wardrobe here. So I can't wait to go out to the market with this. Oh, Everybody's going to be hitting on him like, no, stop it.
Oh my gosh.
Stop it. But Angie looking good today. And Angie, it's almost your birthday. We're just a couple of days away. I was just filling everybody in about the podcast on Tuesday, a little birthday celebration for Angie. More discussion on that. So we won't make you tell all those stories all over again. Let's save it for the podcast, of course. But happy early birthday to Angie right here. And I'm sure I share the same sentiment that everybody watching says the same thing as well. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I should have brought a cake with some candles. We could have blown it out. That would have been something. You love a good blowout. I know that's for sure.
That sounds bad.
Oh, it's not. It's real good. But Angie, one thing I forgot at the top before we get to the question of the week, I believe you have something over to the side. I forgot to talk about the Patreon giveaway for the month of June. Here we are, and we got 2 things that we're giving away. It's the Maya Via 3-pack right here. Of course, you know the Maya Via family, and you also know the Evolution box set here. So one Patreon member will win both of these sets here, of course. Pays to be a Patreon member. Angie even helped me pull the winner for last month. So check out that video, of course, on the Patreon. Shout out to the winners over there. But that is the Patreon giveaway for Angie's birthday month. 1 for my birthday month, 1 for Angie's birthday month. That's what it is. We're giving the gifts here is what it's going. So
Sounds about right.
There it is. There it is, Angie. So now we're done, right? Oh, no, we got the question of the week. That's right. I almost forgot about that part. Angie is here for the question of the week. Anything you want to talk about that... Anything? I don't think so. I think you covered it all in the podcast. You gave us the lowdown on all of that. So
riveting information.
It was really good. We heard about you detasseling. We heard about your basketball skills. There was so much. Your love of Texas Roadhouse. Your love of getting blown out. There's a lot of fun stuff over there.
I don't think you know what that means.
Oh, I know what it means.
Like poop your pants?
No. I don't think you know what it means.
That's what a blowout means to me. Like if your baby blows out.
I figured you would say a blowout in your hair.
Oh.
Like you get that.
Too.
That's what I would think you would go to, but
I just never do that.
I'll fill you in later. I'll fill you in off camera. But Angie, it's time for the question of the week. Are you ready for that? Can you handle it?
I guess.
Okay, well, jump in.
All right. Spawn 3x5. Can you name the all-time best figures in the collection?
Whose collection? Your collection?
I'm guessing yours.
Mine. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know how you validate that. Is it my personal opinion? I've said it a million times. My almighty. Do you know what it is?
Oh, a warrior. That warrior statue. No?
That's good. That is good. That was a great birthday present for my dad once upon a time.
I face it for myself.
No, my dad got that for me. It was very nice of him. A great gift. One of the best gifts I've had in many a year. But no, it would be my LJN Ultimate Warrior from when I was a kid. That's very meaningful for me. So that's the best figure in the whole collection. And it is worth a lot of money, but even if it was worth $1, it would still be so much to me, very sentimental. So but besides that, all the 1 of 100s, 1 of 20 classic superstar stuff. There's that 1 of, what is it? 1 of 13 He-Man? I already forgot. I'm on the spot, but I have that 1 He-Man figure, the translucent one. I got some Motorhead statues. There's a lot of good stuff in the collection, but my all-time best figure in my collection is always going to be that LJN Grand Toys Warrior. Love that so much. That's why it's so important for this Coliseum collection coming from Mattel that plays tribute. It's an homage Todd McFarlane? Yes, of course. That is just going to be really cool for me. It's going to be like a full circle moment. So I can't wait to unbox that one here on the channel. So fingers crossed that comes sooner rather than later. And, things usually come soon around here, don't they, Angie?
Mm-hmm.
Way too soon. Way too soon. That's the problem. But that's the way it goes from time to time. But that is the question of the week from Spawn 3x5. And if you want to be the question of the week, if you got a question for Angie or you got a question for me, put it in the comments below. And, of course, visit with Angie every single Tuesday for all that and much more on the Kyle Peterson Show podcast with co-host Angie, wherever your podcasts are found. And Angie,
I thought you were going to say I'm the best thing in your collection.
Oh, she got me. You're right. You pulled the old Lemmy from the old Lemmy documentary.
The figure. I have the best figure.
You got the best figure in the collection, but no, that is true. But I have used that. Somebody asked me that one time too. What's the most important thing if you could save anything in the house?
Possession.
I said I would save Angie first, and then the dogs, and then the rats, and then I'd get the some of the action figures out of there, and then finally Elle and Emma would finally get their chance to get out that window. But just hold on, guys. Just 5 minutes more. You'll be all right. But there it is, Angie. There it is. So another week of the weekly purchases upon us here. Any last words?
How many weeks have you been doing this?
Oh my gosh, 250 something. Wow. Something like that. And never missed a weekly purchases. Never missed them. Or a toy news. Or a video. Or a round of fun. Never miss. I never miss. That's for sure. But here we are. Angie and I are going to go do some figure hunting and get dinner too. So see the fruits of those labors hopefully later. We'll see what happens with that. But there it is. Once again, you want to be the question of the week, put it in the comments down below. And until next time, Angie, it is time for the weekly purchases. All right, time for round number 1 of weekly purchases. And a bit of a plot twist, I'm actually filming this before last week's weekly purchases even dropped. As here I am Saturday afternoon, just got back from Des Moines Con and the panel, and there was a lot of packages on my front step. And I said, gosh, I'm going to unbox this stuff today and tomorrow to be out this week, of course. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do the first part of weekly purchases a little bit early. And that brings us to this right here. And how about we start it off with a guy that is all gas, no brakes. Of course, the Samoan werewolf himself, Jacob Fatu. First time in the line. Excited to get that one out of the package. We got a manager solo, manager edition, solo, promo edition, whatever you want to call it, solo Sokoa. You got the Queen of the Ring right here. We got Nia Jakks. And then, of course, we got the brothers Tongaloa and Tama Tonga. Both first time in the line, kinda. And we'll talk about all this. By the time you're watching this in weekly purchases, I probably already had these videos on YouTube. So check them out if you wanted to see more on that. Also, via Hasbro Pulse through the door today, retro carded, of course, Dr. Mindbender. So another G.I. Joe. Oh, wrestling a G.I. Joe. Does it get any better than that? Maybe, with a little McFarlane Toys fix-up. How about that? You guys know I love the McFarlane Toy Talk Show set. You know that's a favorite of mine. The only thing I don't like about it, well, I should walk that back. I hated the price point like everybody else, but I do feel, and I think most agree, I'm getting more bang out of the buck from it than a lot of people are. But I hated the floor on that cardboard floor. But I did go to Etsy, and Etsy had the power of magnets to compel us through as I could build a new floor. So it is a new floor track out of plastic, a little bit more sturdy, obviously, here, and the power of magnets compels us once again. So happy to have that for my McFarlane Talk Show set. I'll get rid of the cardboard. I'll save it. I'll put it somewhere, but I'll be using this instead, and it's nice they got the little channels in there as well. So I did buy that this week. And then last but certainly not least, thanks to our friends over there at Grapplers and Gimmicks, Hastel Toys. Go over there, grab your copy. Did get the brand new Al Snow figure. What does everybody want? Head, of course. We all know how that goes. Rhino, the man-beast himself, part of this latest wave there. And then, of course, we do got Arn and Tully, the Brainbusters, two of my absolute all-time favorites. And last but certainly least, the new Rockers right here. It is the new Rockers. Cool idea for what it is. We're going to have a Marty party once again with Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy, of course. So real fun to get these through the door. Check out the reviews on the channel as well. But that is it. That is round number 1 of weekly purchases. Whoa. Stop the clock. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Here we are back again. Just went to the grocery store, hit a couple of Targets and Walmarts with my wife, got dinner, but guess what? Found a few things on the hunt. Let's dive into it. Finally, the long hunt is over. Maybe a 7-day hunt, but I did find it. Just chilling at Target. Cyborg Superman Target exclusive. Found this one. And I found the new 52 Superman. Found that one too. So 2 more Superman in the collection. Still looking for that Lion Superman and the Alfred E. Newman Superman. You know how that goes. Also, hot delivery here. Of course, I got home. I went to the mailbox, and guess what was in the mail? It was a little bit of Grapplers and Gimmicks here. Man, it's a Grapplers and Gimmicks week. We got the Godfather, the Smoke Train himself. Of course, Kama. Watch out for him. He'll fight you. We know how he goes. And, of course, Papa Shango. So we got all 3 of the Charles Wright gimmicks here. It's the year of Charles Wright. Can we do a top 5 Charles Wright countdown this year? Maybe we can. But we did get Papa Shango through the door as well. Very cool to get these. Shout out to grapplersandgimmicks.com, of course, where you pick these ones up. And last but certainly not least, my wife was at Ross, and while I was there, I said, you know what, I'm going to go check the toys. Found Frankenberry. I don't know why I needed another one of these, but I just felt like for $11, I needed to pick this up. So what am I doing with my life? I don't know. Maybe a future giveaway, something like that on the channel. But a fun figure I couldn't pass up at $11. All right, time for round number 2 of weekly purchases, and let's dive in. We got a wrestling heavy round 2, but first we're going to start with some Batman 66, and as we say on the channel, stop me if you've heard this before, got to get a deal. And I've been clocking Amazon. I've been playing the long game on a lot of Batman 66. Did get Space Batman for $13 over there on Amazon. Had to jump in on that one at that deal. But the deal of the week as far as Amazon, as far as Batman 66, was the Joker. It is the Joker mobile and Joker figure, $14 on Amazon. So played the long game. This is something I didn't desperately need. I wasn't going to pay $40, $50, whatever it was, but $14 shipped. I'll dive in with this. So it is the Batmobile Jokerized, of course, with another Joker figure. Had to jump in and get that at that price. Got to get a deal. You guys know the story by now. And the story by now, I wanted to get another one of these in the collection, so I did do that. I'm not a big autograph guy, but I think this would look amazing in an orange paint pen. It is the white sketch edition Orange Cassidy. They had that big Memorial Day sale. I added this to my order to get this. I don't know when I'll ever see Orange Cassidy, when I would get an autograph for it, but it's on the long game to-do list. And for 20% off, 25% off, whatever it was, got to get a deal once again. I also picked up this from the new Archive line. Whoa, watch out. Coming in hot, it is the AEW 3-pack here with the golf cart. Kind of a golf cart. But I did get this. We will unbox this on the channel, of course. One of those ones where I would say 99% of the people should probably keep this in the package. Of course, I'm not 99%. I'm a 1%er. I'm going to open this. So I would not be opposed to getting a second one of these to display in the future. We'll see what happens with that as well. But we got some more wrestling to talk about. We got it in via Big Bad Toy Store. Already unboxed them on the channel. It is Hawk. It is Animal. Check out the review if you missed it. You guys know me. I'm playing all the hits with the big rubber guys, especially Face Paint, Hawk and Animal, Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. You know I'm here for that. Pick those up over at Big Bad Toy Store. Also, just a couple minutes ago, I got back from Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Had to pick up some wrestling figures I saw there that they just got in. Unfortunately, I missed these on Ringside, so it's great to have a place like Jay's to come in over there and swoop in and find some of this stuff that I missed at Ringside. It is Bianca. It is Jade Cargill, a brand new 2-pack here. Main Event Showdown, of course. Looking good. Jade's first ever main event style figure for those keeping track at home. And then one I was really bummed I missed out on Ringside. He sold out. They had him at Jay's. It is Razor Ramon Ultimate Edition right there in the green. Of course, just a bit of a re-release, color variant, whatever you want to call it. But I needed this in my collection, and they had it over there. And guess what? I saved 15% because it's in stock. So I grabbed that. I guess you want it. Head over to Jay's as well. Use my code, 15% off, code Kyle. Also grabbed the Roman. Didn't necessarily need this, but it does have a new head sculpt, which we've gotten before as well. But picked this up as well. So I did get the Roman, the Razor, and the Jade and Bianca over there at Jay's Toys and Games. But there it is. That's round number 2 of weekly purchases. Now it's time for round number 3. All right, time for round number 3, the final round this week of weekly purchases. Got a few more pickups to dive into, and let's start it off, finally completing the trio of Misfits figures with Danzig. We did unbox the Samhain, we did unbox that, but we also unboxed the Fiend, and we unboxed Jerry Only. Check out that review if you missed it, but now we got Danzig to unbox, and I guess he'll be all by his lonesome there. But we're not done with He-Man style figures. Cartoon collection, hot off the truck once again. Got to get these. These are over at Jay's as well. 15% off. I keep telling you guys, you're sleeping on it if you're missing out on it. Got Orko right there looking good. Got Fang right here. Fang Man specifically there, part of the cartoon collection. And last but certainly not least, you know me, I love a hairy bipedal creature. We do got Grizzlor. And somebody in the comments this week said, haha, Kyle likes hairy bipedal creatures. And that was his first ever comment on the channel. And I was just like, boy, if you only knew. If you only knew how much I like hairy bipedal creatures. But we did get those from the He-Man universe. And then you'll see it in next week's figure hunt, next Friday, if you're keeping track on the channel. Next week, I did go to a Walmart, and unfortunately the power was out. But luckily it came back on. It was a bit of a shenanigans, but they did have this on the shelf there. I did find the brand new vintage Masterverse figure of Faker, of course, a Walmart exclusive. They had about 18 of these at my store. So your mileage may vary. You guys know how that goes. We'll unbox that on the channel. And last but certainly not least for He-Man, we already got around to her this week. Despara, hot off the truck this week from Mattel Creations. Already unboxed it on the channel, as I did mention. Check out their review if you did miss it. Also found this one at my local Target. Actually saw 3 of these out there at Target this week. It is the orange edition, I guess, the red platinum Batman here. Looking for the purplish color one still. I'll find it. I always find these McFarlanes, but I did find this. Saw 3 of them, like I said, out there in the wild this week. So it's crazy. These are really starting to hit at least my area. I did take advantage of the Big Bad Toy Store sale for Memorial Day. I forgot I was missing Valeria Spirit from the Conan line. I still have not got around. I got these like 6 months ago. I have not unboxed this Conan wave on the channel. Maybe we'll do it one of these days on Kyle Peterson 1.0, 2.0. Maybe we'll start 3.0 just for Conan unboxings. Who knows? But we did get her through the door this week. And then I guess we're going to finish off. Of course, if you watched the big weekly purchases last week, I started 2 new collections like a crazy person last week. Got to get a deal once again. I did this week, though, go to eBay. I needed some stink in my collection. Of course, we love hairy bipedal creatures. Once again, Segway, baby, Segway. We did get stink, the missing piece of the puzzle. Now I got that whole first wave, and I think that's where I'm calling it good with the Land of the Lost. But got stink in my collection. Do I unbox these Land of the Lost? I don't know. It's fun to unbox stuff, but sometimes is the juice worth the squeeze? And 99% of the time, it's not. You spend more time and money buying the figures, reviewing the figures, editing the videos than you do get in the back end as far as payment. But it's for the fun. I just don't know if I'm going to dive into that, if I have enough time to do those. But we'll see. And another one I'm still on the fence on. Now, I got to make that decision this week. Maybe we'll start and we'll see. It is Fraggle Rock, and I did get the rest of the Fraggle Rock pieces of the puzzle I was missing. Got Red. That's a heavy hitter in the Fraggle Rock game, of course. Red right there. Also got my all-time favorite, Uncle Traveling Matt. You need Uncle Traveling Matt in your collection, don't you? He's going to wow you with tales of travel. Like a young Josh Gates from Expedition Unknown or Destination Truth. Pick your own poison for him, of course. And of course, pick up Gobo along the way. You got to have a little Gobo if you're going to Fraggle Rock. We know how that goes as well. And then last but certainly not least, the Flange Doozer. Oh, a doozer. He's a doozy, that's for sure. But now I am 100% complete on Fraggle Rock. Let the Fraggles play. That's what they say. And they're going to do that here. Once again, not sure if I'm going to unbox these, but there was pretty good feedback in the comments last week saying, yeah, unbox some Fraggles. So maybe we'll do it. I don't know if it's a Kyle Peterson 2.0 thing or what we're going to do with that, but stay tuned maybe for Fraggles. Maybe you guys can sway my heart a little bit. I don't know. But that is it. I'm looking around, diving around. Oh, I got one last piece of the puzzle here. I think this might have been in the figure hunt this week or not, or a future one. What is time? What is figure hunts? But I've been talking about cowboy hats for a while. I said, I need to really find one of these cowboy hats, knowing full well I'll never wear one in public. It'll never happen. But my wife and I were at Burlington Coat Factory, and truly more than great coats because they apparently have hats too. But for $8, I picked up this cowboy hat. So now I can really complete my Western look, kind of wear this around, and it kind of matches with what I'm wearing right here, doesn't it? Cowboy Kyle rides again. How about that? Does this suit me? Is this something I could wear out in public? I don't know. You guys sound off in the comments down below. I kind of remind myself of like, what is it? David Filoni from like the Star Wars Disney stuff. Kind of has that look. He always wears like a cowboy hat or something like that. Kind of goofy. And yeah, I'm kind of goofy too. I wear a lot of Western shirts, heavy metal shirts. You guys know what we do here. But I did get this for like $8. I said for $8, you can't go wrong. I can wear it in the backyard, of course. I can get some cowboy boots, some shorts, and maybe a tank top, and I'll mow the yard in it. Maybe not. But I did pick this up once again for $8. Burlington Coat Factory, more than great coats. Also cowboy hats. So there it is. That is the weekly purchases. What did you pick up this week? Anything good? Anything exciting this week? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate that. We're climbing the subscribers. Let's go. Let's get to that 100,000. Hopefully in the next decade or so. We'll see what happens. But keep your fingers crossed. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. Check out YouTube channel memberships and, of course, the Patreon for early access to everything we do, including the Kyle Peterson Show podcast every single Tuesday, available wherever podcasts are found with video cast on YouTube. Latest how about episode? Latest episode that drops Tuesday, already up on Patreon YouTube channel membership, so you can get an early sneak peek of that as we celebrate my wife's birthday, old Angie's birthday this week. So make sure you're checking that out once again, wherever podcasts are found. Check out my book, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. A lot of you guys and gals ordering the book from me. I still have a couple of copies left. If you're looking for an issue or a copy of the book, the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, hit me up, or Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Kyle Peterson Show @gmail.com. So you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another work week.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?